Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm really glad you found this video. This is part of my journey to become a full-stack developer by working through FreeCodeCamp's curriculum one project at a time. Today, we are tackling the Regex Sandbox project from FreeCodeCamp, a fantastic way to learn how to build small interactive tools that test regular expressions. But before we dive in, let me share a quick story about Chris Collier. He is a self-taught developer who created the CSS Grids, one of the most popular front-end resource sites, and he co-founded CodePen, a platform used by millions of developers to build and share code. Chris's journey shows how mastering the basics, sharing what you build, and consistently improving your skills can open huge doors in tech. If you're learning to code or you want to build real projects like this, hit that subscribe button and follow along. I will walk you through every step of this FreeCodeCamp project. From setting DOM references, creating dynamic regex with flags, to highlighting match result beautifully. We already have the HTML and CSS set up, so we shall focus on the JavaScript logic, writing clean and commented code. That being said, let us dive in. So guys, normally here's a project. So we shall just try and make a test with the string Alain. Select everything. You can see it works pretty well. So that being said, we shall start programming the project. So the first use case is like should access the body, test string, test variable elements, and save them in the variables respectively. So let's comment it. Hope you guys are seeing. I think now it's better. Okay. I think now it's better. Okay. So now it's access done. So it's good because the first one is since we are supposed to be since we're not talking about the classes, we're talking about ID, so we're supposed to get element by ID, and inside these parentheses we shall have the ID value. So we shall do the same thing for the other elements, for the other variables. So the second one was test string. The name of the variable is string test. That's one. second to the last is this here. This button, so the name is this button. The last one, which is a photo, is this result. So the name of the button is this result. The ID is result. So now the next user case is, so you should access the ID, E, and J flag checkboxes and save them in the variable name case-insensitive flag and global flag. Sorry. So let's go first. What's the name? Case-insensitive. Let's copy it, paste, then the items okay. So the next one, the third user case, says that you should have a function named getFlag that returns a string containing the flag from the check flag boxes, or an empty string if none of them have been checked. So what this thing is basically saying is that we should have a function that will be connected to these checkboxes so that we shall get the value. So the value here is basically represents where we shall know whether any of these flags have been checked or not. So we should just look at the documentation input checkbox. So here's the input checkbox. Let me see if it's right. Let's go to HTML. So it's input here and type checkbox. Okay. So here is it. So personally, I know that the checkbox, any checkbox has the value of check, has the property check. So the property check is a boolean value which says whether a function which says whether the check element or the checkbox element has been checked or not, if I can say that. So let's just create this function which collect we simply collect the selected Regex Sandbox. So function selected flags. So let's get the function get flags. So that's the function. So how can we do that? How can we get the collected flag? how can we connect the selected flag? So that's the question you have to ask yourself. So for example, I know that to have, since we have already connected, we already have access to this HTML, to the HTML element of the checkboxes, so of the flags. I know that if I want to access the value of the checkbox, for example, of the checkbox of global flag, like global flag, I can use the word, the property check, which is a boolean. So the use case is that we should return, the function should return a string containing the flags from the checked flag box checkboxes, or an empty string if none of them have been checked. So to do that, first of all, declare a variable flag, which will be an empty string. So the idea here is like declaring this empty variable. So when I will like know that the global flag or the case-insensitive flag has been selected, I will just concatenate I'll just concatenate the flag. So let me just read that, you understand. So if the case-insensitive flag, that one is really hard. Context is true. What happens is that we should concatenate to the flag, to the variable flag, the name, the string EI, and we do the same thing for the global variable, for the global flag. Sorry. So here it's supposed to be global flag. So global flag, and the variable is the string here normally is J. So after doing that, you have a return statement which return the variable flag. So that's how basically I thought about it. So I don't know if you guys have another idea how I can do it. So just leave the comment below. Look at it. So now let's go to the next user case. Submit. So the next user case says that you should have when you click on the test button, if the reject matches, so if the reject pattern matches the test string, the match text should be highlighted. So highlighted is what we saw here. So let me just show you and say highlighted. So when the string matches or the test is a match, there's this green highlight. So it's matching the first occurrence of the string of the regex. So let's say something like that. So now to highlight the matches, replace each match with the same text surrounded by a span element. I think span element is something like this. HTML element. The class of highlight. Note that the CSS for that has been already added. So let me check the CSS. Highlight. Let's see it. Okay, yes, light green. So we can also change the color if we want. So now, for this fourth one, I think that we should simply add a. First of all, the first thing to do here is this test button. We should simply add an event listener to it. So which will the event here will accept when the value is displayed, the following lines of code should be operated or should be combined. So let's say something like this. So now what you have to understand that is we are comparing the regex value. So the regex that we're putting in, what is that? The regex value and the string and the test string. So to do that, we should first of all get the value here, so the regex value here, and also the second time we should secondly we should also get the test string here. Thirdly, we should also get the flag. So when we have all of this, what we shall do next is we shall create a regex using the reg expressions to do that, to combine all of them into a regex. Let's say normally regex are like, let's say Alain with E, or this guy with the flag E, I, or J. So that's how we have to do it. So to have something like that, we have to combine all of them. So as I said, the first step here is to first of all collect. So let's name it. So let's collect the regex. So let's store the regex inside the variable project. So there's a regex. So since it is an input field, we can collect it using value. So collect the value. We can use the property value to have the text of the HTML element. So after doing that, we collect the flags. So let's store it into this variable flags and taking the result of the get flags function. So this function that we created here. So after doing that, what's the next part is to collect the string value. So to test value this string. So to do that, we shall store inside this variable that will name original text. So original text. Now let's build in a regex. Regex. So to do that, we simply get this variable and use this constructor to build a regex. So the constructor is display. Something like this. And we're taking the path and the flags. So what you will do, you will take the two strings, combine them together. So that's simply what you do. Let me check it again. So as I was saying, we have to do. We have already taken this. So I've combined to make the regex. So now we have to take the test string. Where is the test string found? Which HTML element? The test string is here. Okay. It is inside a div. Okay. And to access the text of a div, we should use instead text content. Yeah, text content. That's right. Check. text content. Okay, no very basic, but no records. But so as I was saying, we have the test, we have our regex that we just built. We have how can I say it again? We have a test string. That's the first thing. That's all now. Let's look at the next, at the feed. I'll try. I think that we have to like highlight this point stuff, but I don't really know how to do it for the moment. So I think that by reading it and learning how to do it, I will come across how I can do it properly. So let's just say something like this. So we have the fifth use case saying that when there is a match, the match text should display inside the result. In case of multiple matches, each match text should be separated with the next one by a comma, a space. When there is no match, the text no match should be displayed with the result. That's why we're going to test to see how good that is. So this is okay, what the guy is simply saying is that if there is a match, he's telling us that if there is a match, we should change the text content of result and put in there the matches. So yeah, put in there the match. That's what he's saying. And he's also saying that there's a possibility that there are many matches. So the text can be as long as possible. Let's say for example 13 strings. And these 13 strings, and inside 13 strings, there are, for example, 5 matches. So we also have to handle it as cases. So I think that if you want to store all the matches, it's important that we should store them inside an array. So I think that the other thing that we should do is store the matches. So we say scale this array is equals to empty array. Inside this array, we shall use the push function to store every matches. Okay, that's the first part. So the next part is let us try and look all this. For example, the use case here, the test that failed here says that when the inner HTML of the string to string is string to text is this word, is this string. The value of the regex pattern is this. The no flag is checked. String to text inner HTML should become this by clicking the text button. So what I understood here is that we have to create a new HTML, we have to create a new variable, let's say. And in this variable, we shall store the original text that has been modified. This is something like that. So here we shall use the variable, we shall use the function string. The function replace that's being used for strings. So this and there's a particular use of it that is very interesting that can really help us with this arrays, with this string stuff, this regex stuff, this one. Making generic requests. This function is look like the function like this. So let us do it. So as I said, we create a new HTML element. And this new HTML element, what we shall do is that we shall connect it easily. We shall connect it easily to the because it's the answer. we shall connect it easily to the test result or to any other thing that we need to do. So we just create a new HTML element. We take the original text, we replace it, we use the replace function, and inside the replace function we have the regex, the reg that we created personally. So we have that function there. Now we shall use this making a generic replacer. So to make it that generic replacer is simple. We have this match, so which is a match string. So there's an arrow function that we are doing. So whenever we have a match string, what we shall do, we shall push in the match string inside the array matches. So matches. What pushing match? So after doing that, what we shall store inside our new HTML variable is simply the span. How can I say this thing that the guy they were talking about here. So highlight the matches, replace each match with the same text surrounded by a span element with a glass highlight. So that's how we shall, that's with the return of this function and we store inside here. So let's just do it. So return. Now just template match. Okay, they said here that with the class name highlight. So it's really that we should insert this class name highlight. Okay, I think I have to do template class. It should be insert this. Okay. Now we have a value. So every time that we have a function completed, a return value solved. And so anytime that we, like, let's say we find a match, we shall push it inside the matches function. So now the second part here is like this sit, and the next part here is this sit and fit user case, which says that if there's a match, we should simply change the result and put either no match or there is a match. So to do that, that is here we are updating the domain object model based on whether matches were found. So the first thing I think that we shall do here is use an if statement to check whether the match, the array matches has minimum one element. If so, what we do next is that we just take the inner HTML of string to test and set it to new HTML. So this function that we created here. And the next part, what we shall do is since as we were testing, we saw that there's this comma in between this function. This comma. Let me just show you in this text box. So we want to introduce this comma. So to do that, we shall use a join function. And if there is nothing, so the match, and in that case is if there is no element inside the match array, what we shall do, the matches array, what we shall do is simply that, okay, we shall just set the test content of test result to no match. So to do that, so we check the name. Is greater than 0. So if it's greater than, I'm not sure, I hope that I wrote this line stuff well because I sometimes TH. So if it's greater than 0, so we take the text the inner HTML of string to test. And set it to new HTML. So the variable will just create. So after doing so, that means there is more than one match, or there is one or more matches. We have to use a join function to change the text content of text result and make it text result in text content. As I said it, we get the test result is coming from this variable that we store here. So what happens here is that we shall try and take all the matches and join them through and in between the different matches we shall insert a comma and a space as it was mentioned. So yeah, the next one by a comma and a space. So let's just do it. Join the comma and space. That's how we do it. So now we should take the case where there is no match. We just take the text result wanted. No match. So that's how I really solve the problem. So if I test it, we have it right. So guys, thank you for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed the videos. So if you have anything to say, you want to talk about anything about this project, feel free to air your mind. Give me your opinions about it. I will really be glad to answer to your comments. That being said, let us see ourselves in the next video.